Inside Star Citizen had a very interesting and important little piece for us, a little tidbit there right at the end, showing us the new UI card interface systems. Check it out. We're going to talk about that and a couple of more interesting things that showed us in this episode right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Montoya. I've been away for the past 3 weeks. I've been in Florida visiting family. It's been a long time since I went to Tampa. It's good to just get some sun and relax. So let's take a look. Let's jump right in. So the UI card system, this has been in the works for a very, very long time. And as you can see by the demonstrations here, what it is basically is you can make this kind of text, holographic text, just pop up almost everywhere very easily. If you're a dev working on this game, this just makes everything so much easier. You don't have to go to the design guys, the graphics guys. You go, if I want to have a caution sign pop up here, it's very easy for them to do. It's all in the UI interface system where devs can just go in and make things pop up where they want or design interfaces as they want very quickly. The CIG Devs have been working on this. His name is Zane. We're going to take a look at an older Inside Star Citizen and give him some credit there too. But before we get into that, what do you see in front of you right there? What is that? In particular, what's that on the roof? A lot of people missed this. That, to me, looks like it might be a tractor beam. So the old Argo Cargo over there, possibly getting a tractor beam variant coming in. Looks like it might be so. I mean, this is not a mining laser, is it? I mean, it could be. It might be. But I think basically a tractor beam will make more sense for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they're showing you. We'll slow it down and look piece by piece. But basically a caution area sign there, as you'd expect around moving vehicles or dangerous areas. I can see no fly zones, having these things pop up around them too. Anyway, you should not be going or should be careful. They can make little signs pop up very nice. Let's take a closer look at the most important part, which is the terminal. So here we go. So I thought that we had put this whole thing behind us, okay? If you don't recall the holotable, this is what the holotable was in the old days, and this is back in 2016. It was this, and it looked cool. Chris Roberts definitely wants holographic interfaces in his games. Holograms imply futuristic. Everyone wants that in there. But let's be honest, for those of you who used this, had the opportunity to use this, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good experience. Visually, it's great, but I can still hear the sound. I don't know if they do it in this video, but remember the sound when you scrolled? That still burnt into my head. That was terrible sound design. But anyway, the whole idea with the whole table was it's futuristic looking. You get to pull up your ship and then you can just decide how you want to put things in by moving things around. Where is, let me find an example of that happening right about there. So he's going to grab that Bulldog repeater and he's going to put it on the ship and oh, that doesn't fit, so it bounces back. Yeah, that obviously is not what's meant to be, but it was an annoying experience. It was just not easy to use. I personally much prefer the flat interface we have right now when it comes to any kind of UI, as is the standard UI in most games you play. But if CIG wants to push towards this kind of 3D stuff, how will it pan out? In the past, if you just look at comments from the past about the holotable, we don't need a stinking holotable. It was just generally a lot of comments like this. People aren't happy with it. So is there a happy medium? All right, we have Chris Roberts who definitely wants to use holographic interface, and you have people saying, well, last time it wasn't so good. Let's wait and see how it goes, because I think they've come a long way where you can basically easily switch between a 2D and a 3D. That's basically what it is, a hybrid between 2D and 3D, where you have your 2D, which can just basically pop up and become 3D. Now, at some point in the future, if we do go full VR in Star Citizen, this will be beautiful. I mean, just standing there and you can just touch everything and moves around. Absolutely, this will look spectacular. Also want to point out right in the middle of the screen over there, Kingship Tachyon size 7 weapons. I know they're trolling us, but if a Kingship is a Vandal capital ship, those are Tachyon size 7s. Probably in the game at some point, or in the game right now that we just don't see. But a nice little teaser there, because I know they're going to stop the video on exactly that frame and talk about the Kingship Tachyon size 7. I wonder if we can stick that onto our own chips. Probably can at some points. So there you see everything that's available. It's got like the menu with guns, and what they really want to showcase here is how easily everything just moves around and reorganizes on its own without you having to be some magical deep level dev to make it happen. It's all just the UI, and you can, as a dev who's working on this game, can decide what you want, where you want it, what's going to be shaped like. And I think that's a great segue to go take a look at exactly what Zane did back in 2019, where the shot is all about it. Look how fluid it is. It all moves around. There's not much for you to do once the system is in as a dev as far as UI design. You just pick and choose what you want where, and off it goes. So let's pause that video there and let's go over to Inside Star Citizen 2019, August 2019, and take a look and give Zane some credit here. Here we go.
It's a very exciting time right now for the UI. For the past several months, we've been working on some new tech that we're calling building blocks internally, but really what it is a replacement for our current UI tools. Before, what we had was a very difficult to use system that uses Flash and Scaleform. And what we wanted to do for the developers internally was to basically make a tool and a system to make it much easier to actually get UIs into the game. Historically, it's been very difficult to actually author something, and the process has been very convoluted in terms of authoring an asset, not seeing it live update in the game, having to export.
Good editing there, showing look how serious he's at work, but he's doing a great job. I mean, look, there's the screen and he's typing things, but take a look at how fluid everything is. He's going to show you how you can change the size of the actual interface itself, and everything just slots into place. Watch
Reload
this.
the editor every time you want to make a change. So now with the new tech, we have so many new features that we can employ.
He's showing an example of basically this is the elevator on level 4. Changing the shape makes everything align automatically. You don't need to do anything. This makes UI design so fast in this game. And it's pretty exciting going forward, because when it comes to any kind of alien design, or those of you wondering why the hell is the HUD on my ship not fixed yet, this is why. Anything that has to do with text in this game is going to be under the system now. So the UI, the HUDs, everything in your ships, which is not aligned, but then it's pointing this way, it should be pointing that way. All of this will be under this new system now.
Fluid layout, being able to flexibly size a layout to
also the star map, by the way,
so as to make it much easier for us to maintain, because we have a lot of different screen
aspect
ratios and screen dimensions that we need to manage in the game. We have some really cool stuff in our that we built for the UI tech, like a way to dynamically lay out elements in any configuration that a designer might want.
Impressive.
You can lay stuff out in columns, you can lay out stuff in rows, you can have them automatically shrink or automatically grow, so it's a very flexible tool. We also have some very unique functionality to our UI tech, one of which includes a post-transform.
Resize, and now this is impressive. You recognize this
element and transforms it radially, so you can actually
you'll see this in a sec.
Create radial menus, and all the functionality that you would have in a regular linear rectangular element is then it's simply inherited into the radial menu. Okay,
so you recognize that, right? When you right click, press F, we get the radial menu. But the fact you can just make it a circle, make it a semicircle, make it a line, adjust everything, just choose what you want where, this makes future game development, future development just go faster for any UI dev in here. And I know this is a broken record, but we keep on saying, they're making the tools to make things go faster, and it's true. And in this sense, you're seeing an example of exactly that. So instead of having to redo the HUD in every ship, you can immediately choose what manufacturer, what color. The dev can simply click and drag things around to wherever they want them. I wonder at some point in time if we can actually design our own HUDs in the ship. That'll be awesome. But don't hold your breath for that. But there you go.
How do we make it easy and very intuitive for a designer to actually create what they want and get what they want out of the tool? What excites me the most about actually working on this is that it's very much the foundational system that everyone's going to use to build UI. As the UI artists, we still have a responsibility to define
Speaking of HUDs, here we go.
styles and the looks and the standardization of the UI, but to actually prototype something and prototype some gameplay loops, anyone can do that now. They don't have to be a specialist, they don't have to have a special program to be able to actually author a UI or implement a UI in the game. They can just go into our own internal tool, create it themselves, and easily hook up variables from the game to the UI and test stuff. We can actually see much more gameplay start to come alive, and the universe starting to feel alive and dynamic.
Very true. So, yeah, let's just take another quick look over here. Now, this is Zane's personal site called Zanimation. This is from 2016. You can see he's been at this for a good 6 years now. So, thank you, Zane, for your hard work finally coming to fruition. And we look forward to testing everything out. And look, I'm not going to say it's going to suck like the Holotable did, but let's get in there and give it a shot. All right, so let's go back now a little bit and take a look at what is my most anticipated ship in the short term, which is the Drake Corsair, and it is looking gorgeous. So here's my thing. I think maybe a lot of you feel the same way about this as I do, and that is, as the game progresses, we'll just play while I blabber on to you. A lot of us are simply kind of picking a ship that we find is kind of our daily driver. And it might not be the best at doing everything, but we'll just use it anyway because we just like using it. Now, when the point comes in time when you can just, well, I guess you can already put your drinks and food and everything, but when you can start basically customizing your ship and you want to put your weapons here and the ammo on the desk, whatever, and it stays there, or as a way to at least recall an exploded ship with all the stuff you put in it already. A lot of us will simply pick 1 or 2 or 3 ships and they'll be our daily drivers just going forward. And for me, the Corsair is exactly that kind of ship. I think it does a bit of everything. It's nice, heavily armed. It's got enough space to carry stuff. You can have some crew members in it. So I'm excited for this. Some internal shots there. That's the crew cabin. Very typical Drake design. Kind of dark, kind of grayish, but very functional. That's what I like. Actually, this kind of design speaks to me more than Origin for some reason. Don't hate me. But I do like the rugged kind of exposed paneling. You can always see like the wall and things behind the wall to make it look like it's sort of unfinished. And yeah, big kudos to the devs who work on the design language for the Drake. It's definitely cool. And look at the size of that hangar in the back. That's a massive ramp. That is a big ramp. You'll be able to fit your rovers and everything else you want in there. Here is a completed inside version. Again, look at the exposed kind of walling. That's very much Drake language, where there's the wall, but then you can see the stuff behind the wall itself. And here is just a size of the landing gear compared to an average human. And there it is with the wings on. So the asymmetrical wings are something I'll have to get used to. I think once I've fired the weapons and you're seeing what the ship can do, I'll look past that. Not a fan of asymmetry in this particular case. But hey, it's not up to me, and we'll live with it. We'll see when it's all complete. But so far, I like what I see. It does look promising, and I'm excited to see. Yeah, that's all. That looks good. Come back. I want to see that again. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. The longer you look at it, the less ugly it becomes. What do you think? Well, on that, ladies and gentlemen, I will bid you adieu. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Your comments below always appreciated. As always, this episode is brought to you by my Patreon backers. Ladies and gentlemen of my Patreon, thank you for your ongoing support. Always appreciated. And with that, I will catch you in the next one.